What is up, guys? Team Yugi Fields here with another deck profile, and today I'm going to be showing you my DDD profile for the April 2020 ban list / Master Rule update. So before we hop immediately into this, I want to preface that I do not have a side deck together for this. This is a deck that I would have to put a lot of effort into figuring out what I want to play in the side deck. It's a deck that's very tight on space because it's so combo heavy, so side decking can be difficult. However, that being said, it's so explosive that sometimes side decking isn't even necessary in some instances. And this deck can play so many different variations that you may not even have to worry about side decking stuff because you might be able to main deck it with the variant that you're using. So we're going to hop right into this, and I'm going to show you guys the cards that I have in the main. So we have our Ragnarok. Playing 3 of him is pretty necessary. The other necessary pendulum monsters in this deck are Copernicus and Kepler. These are the only pendulum monsters that I'm playing 3 copies of each in the deck. I think they're the only ones that are necessary to play 3 copies of each because you want to actually get to them more than any other cards in the deck for your pendulum cards. Then I play the 1 Apocalypse, the 1 Orthos, and 1 Thomas. I think one of each of these is fine. I've argued to play 2 of one of these, and I've kind of bounced back and forth between them. But I think one of each is fine. You have a million different combos you can do anyways, so it's not going to really hurt you. Then for the non-pendulum DD cards, we have our Swirl Slime, Necro Slime, Lamia, and then we play 1 Ghost. I think that the 10 of these is pretty solid. I don't think that the ratio needs to be any different. I've seen some people play 2 of this. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's a good card, but 2 of it I think is excessive. Those are all the monsters, though. Moving on to the spells, we have 3 Contract here, and 2 Swamp Contract. I've bounced back and forth between playing like 1 of these or 2, but I think playing 2 is better. If you want to cut 1 and instead play another one of like the DD Pendulum monsters, by all means go for it. I go back and forth, but I think having this is just really solid. Because there are times where like you don't see a Swirl Slime, so you can't fusion from hand. So having that is always a good backup. Then 3 Allure of Darkness and 3 Called By. Considering how like combo heavy this deck is, you really want to have Called Bys because you don't want to get hand trapped to death. It's not fun when you do, that's for sure. And then obviously this deck draws a lot, so Allure is really good. I'm testing 2 Where Art Thou. I really like it so far because if you're able to just get your Kepler onto field, you can then just search whatever you're missing, whether it be like a Necro Slime or a Lamia. And obviously those are cards that are really significant to the deck. Even if you are taking some damage, that's okay. This deck revolves around you taking damage, so you kind of have to suck it up. But then all the 1-ofs, I do play 1 Desires, 1 for 1, Upstart, and Foolish Burial. So a lot of people play multiple Desires. I don't want to play multiple Desires. I want to be able to have as many of my resources kept as possible. So I feel like 1 is good. That way you can at least get 2 cards off of it, but I don't think any more than that is necessary. The 1 for 1 is obvious. The Upstart is obvious because it's just draw power, makes your deck 39 cards, and then the Foolish is pretty obvious too, dumping whatever piece you need to grave to continue playing. Then the last card of the deck, we have our last Contract here. I do play the Trap, and the reason I play Contract with the Witch is because it actually allows you to play through Dark Ruler. A lot of people are probably like, how does this card let you play through Dark Ruler? It doesn't negate it. If you activate this and you like target the Dark Ruler or something like that, basically you target, the card on your opponent's side of the field, so you're going to target their Dark Ruler, and you have your Siegfried on field. If you chain this to Dark Ruler, then this is now part of that chain. You can't respond to Dark Ruler with monster effects, but you can respond to this with monster effects. So you chain this, target the Dark Ruler, and then you chain this to target the Dark Ruler, and then it negates the Dark Ruler, and then your opponent actually can't play through it, which is just a crazy play. I bet you there are some people out there who had absolutely no clue that was even possible. So this card I expect to see pick up in popularity with the deck. Moving on to the extra deck, though, that was the entire main deck. It should be 40 cards exact, if I'm counting correct. But we play the two little Genghis and the two big Genghis, or I'm sorry, the one big Genghis. So two small, one big, and this is just the only fusions that we play. I honestly argued to play the one Diarch because the deck takes so long that there are going to be times where you go into time and this card will actually win you the game, or at least get you a draw if you need it. So you're better off doing that. But I opted after looking to just keep it at those three. Then the Synchro Monsters, we play one formula. I do play the Meteor Burst. I think it's just really good and it comes up often. One Gust King, one Siegfried, one Crystal Wing, one Savage, and then the last card that we play is the Satellite Warrior. So the Satellite Warrior allows you to basically pop 3 of your opponent's cards. So like let's say you do your Crystal Wing negate, then you have your Formula Synchron on field from your Needle Fiber. You just use the Synchron and the Crystal Wing, you make the Satellite Warrior, and then you get to pop cards on your opponent's field. It could be 3 cards, it could be 4, who knows. Typically it's 3. The reason that it's usually 3 is you'll have the Crystal Wing, the Formula, and then usually the Alexander. So typically we see 3 pops, which is just ridiculous. So this card's really, really solid to play. Definitely enjoying it. Then we do play the one rank 8. The Kali Yuga is just really good. Being able to wipe your opponent's board is just a solid thing to do. Then the Link Monsters. I play one Cross Sheep, one Needle Fiber / Halclefibrax, however you want to pronounce it. I prefer saying Needle Fiber. It's a whole lot easier. One Gilgamesh. I think one is fine. I was thinking about playing a second, and then I said, why would I play a second when I can play one Borrelsword? A lot of people are playing the High King Alexander, and I personally don't like it. I think for its attack gain, it's just too much to even try and do. Whereas Borrelsword, no matter what, you're going to be able to swing with them for huge damage, and probably OTK a whole lot more easily. So I opted to go with the Borrelsword as basically the 15th card in my extra deck. Now, the cool part is that this deck has so much variation that you don't have to necessarily play some of those cards. You can move it around. I know I've been testing an artifact build out lately where you end on like the Dagda, and then you set a Scythe, and then you can TG, I think it's Wonder Magician, and pop the Scythe on your opponent's turn, and then special summon it so they can't summon from the extra deck. And that's just a really good play, but you don't have to do that. That's, you guys decide how you want to do the variations, and it'll definitely work for you. I promise. It just takes a lot of practice with this deck. The old joke was that you basically need to carry a spreadsheet around with you to show you how to do the combos because of how many there are. I can assure you that is 100% true. You are going to have to think a whole lot with this deck, but when you actually grasp onto it and you understand, it's a whole lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you guys have any deck profiles that you want me to go ahead and try and post, I can do my best to. Just let me know in the comments what you want to see. I can do an updated Salad deck. I can do Pure Mech Knights. I can do what else can I do? I can do Endymion. I can do something along the lines of Orcust. I can do Subterrors. I have a really spicy Shadal mashup deck list, which has a deck that not many people will remember unless you've been playing the game for at least 5 years. But a really spicy Shadal mix-up that would be pretty cool to see. So you guys let me know what you want to see, and I will post that as soon as possible. But for right now, this is Team Yugi Fails signing out.